Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and today we are back for another wine night, except I am drinking coffee because it is morning for me. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about, but I just wanted to chat through something that I think I've been wanting to do for a while, but for whatever reason just haven't done it yet. So today I thought I would talk to you guys about the tattoos that I have. This has come up a couple of times and I really want to do a tattoo tour. It was recommended by one of you and I think that would be really fun to do. Basically, if you guys have tattoos that you would also like to share, your favorite, a funny one, whatever it is, I'm gonna leave the Google form in the description below, and if you guys are interested, then just submit yours and we can go through that together. But today I thought I would just go through the ones that I have, and part of the reason I haven't done this is because it's been so cold and I needed to wear like tank top and shorts, but finally it is time. So welcome to the tattoo tour, but just me. Okay, so I'm gonna start this off by, I think, going through the ones that I got first to last, but I don't know if I remember all of them, and then some of them kind of mesh together, so we'll just see how it goes. There's still construction. I've been doing this for a year now and there's always construction here. I'm so sorry. Just a reminder, if you've been enjoying my channel, please subscribe. It really does help me out. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I don't normally say those things. It's really, really uncomfortable for me to say, but I just want to remind you guys that those things do help my channel out a lot. And this is something that I would really love to make bigger and would love to give you guys more true crime stories and more like random things on Saturdays. So if you're liking it, thumbs up, subscribe. Let's just get into it. So I'm gonna go again with my first couple and then try to go toward what my most recents were, but I don't remember all of them in order. So my first ones were on my 18th birthday. It's funny because I swore that I was never going to get a tattoo and then I got tattoos. My first ones were, this is gonna be difficult. I have to get up, I think. This cage and this bird. It's super like standard, I think. This specific bird actually I liked just because it's also the same bird that's in one of my favorite movies. He's a main character in that movie and I just really liked it. So again, I thought it was like a very basic style. It was also my first tattoo, so I was like all about it. And then after that, I went on to get this bird and this bird. And this bird was never my favorite, but the reason I wanted to get three, well, first off, I wanted them to all be slightly different style. I wanted them to kind of like have less and less detail as they were flying away, because as the bird's flying away, you can't see it as much. This one, I actually started off with just an outline and then I decided to color it in later. And also this one I had to do a couple of times because from high school all the way to my last year of college, I was a ceramicist, and mostly I was doing hand building, but I was doing some like wheel throwing, you know, when you're like on the wheel and you're like ghost status, you know what I mean? And it's the wheel that I have is metal, not plastic, and so it would literally scrape metal against right here because this is exactly where it would hit, and so that came off a couple of times. So I literally scraped off my tattoo a few times, but you know, it's also a spot that just gets hit often and has less to attach to, so I think I would obviously like to get it redone again, but it is one of my favorites and I like that it's right there, and it was my first that was more visible, so that was exciting for me. Okay, after that, I think I got, in here, I got my grandpa's signature. So my grandpa passed away when I was, I think, in 4th grade, and he was someone that was extremely important to me, and my parents every year for my birthday would get me something that represented my grandpa. So one year they gave me his wedding ring and they resized it so that I can wear it. Another year they gave me a box of his things. Another year they gave me a box of his photographs. So every year it's always been something slightly different, and I was the one that was most attached to him aside from my dad. So one year, one of the presents was his passport, and I got to see everywhere that he traveled. He was also in the military and he was a pilot, so I got to see everything with regards to his travels in that way. So it was just something really special to me, and for his birthday, Friday, my dad and I usually go over to visit he was cremated, but it's like in a wall, so his piece of the wall. And the cemetery has this beautiful view, so we just kind of like hang out there for a little bit. So I surprised my dad by getting the signature, and it was just the signature at the time. I actually wanted it like here or maybe in my finger, but my tattoo artist was like, you know, that's just too much and too much detail. You want to, since it's such a special thing, it's not just like words, you really want to make sure that it has enough space to be seen. Hi. So we just decided to move where it was going to be, and that's something that I really respect about my tattoo artist too, is that he doesn't just let me do whatever I want and then it's gonna end up not what I actually wanted, if that makes sense. Like, he definitely sets these parameters. Like, I have all black and white tattoos, so he says I'm not allowed to have color now, so that's fair. It's, you know, I really want to go with what he thinks as well, since he's the professional, and I'm sure he will steer me the right way. So that's why we changed it to here. And that was something else I was not aware of, is that you have to be aware of like how you want your arm, because that's twisted and then that's not. So if you're ever thinking about getting a tattoo there, just keep that in mind. After that, I think the next one might have been the tree. So after that, I think I got like a bunch of them at once. So I got this tree. I really just told my tattoo artist I want like a wintry tree and I want it to connect over to that. So he freehanded this, which I was really happy with. Yeah, it was exactly what I had envisioned. I was just very impressed with his freehanding. And then around that same time, I got, oh, I forgot about this one. Okay, well, I got this camera, and this is my other grandpa's camera. My grandpa was a photographer. This was his camera. I still have it. But anyway, this was something that was also extremely special to me. And I also have all of his photos. I guess I'm the sentimental one out of the family, or like the one who likes to have the object. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So, okay, I forgot about the tattoo that's on my back, so I'm gonna turn around really fast. But I have this. So it's like a sun like blowing in the wind. And that one is supposed to be a sun of May, which is the sun that is on the Uruguayan flag. So that guy, that one's actually missing one little ray, but anyway, it's supposed to be a sun of May. The sun of May essentially represents splitting from Spain for Uruguay and Argentina, so it's on both of their flags, and it's always depicted slightly different. Argentina's is very different from Uruguay's sun of May, and growing up we had them all over the place. Some of them were like windy, blowing like that, so I got that one. And I always had the idea of putting a moon somewhere, because in my family we call the moon abuelita, which means grandma, and my grandpa would always say that abuelita was watching over us. And so yeah, essentially I wanted to put sun and moon together. Also, like, I don't know, I didn't know if I wanted them hugging or if I wanted one on one shoulder, one on the other, so I haven't done that yet, but definitely something in the back of my mind. So I think after that we got this. So this one is actually a Celtic symbol, another one from my grandpa, and this flower that a friend gave me. And the Celtic symbol is a symbol of protection. It protects against like spirits and bad energy, things like that. And this one was really special to me as well, because my dad and I got it together. When I was first getting tattoos, my dad was not really about them, and a couple of my family members weren't. My grandpa wasn't really, which was very interesting. Grandpa on my mom's side, not on my dad's side. So this grandpa, not this grandpa. I lost where the tattoo was for a second. But anyway, when I got my very first tattoo, my dad eventually accepted it, and then he ended up getting one too. So his is actually just the Celtic symbol, and then it has my name, my sister's name, and my mom's name underneath. My mom and dad are not together, but they are best friends, which I love. So he wanted to get all of our names. And actually, that reminds me, I don't know if I mentioned that's why I got 3 birds, but the 3 birds were because my mom was a single mom growing up, and so it was always me, my mom, and my sister, and we called ourselves Las Nenas, which is just like the girls essentially. And so yeah, that was our thing. So that's why I wanted the 3 specifically. Otherwise I could have put like more to make it, I know. Anyway, so got that one, and then I think I'm gonna go with this one next. So this one is interesting because it looks funny if I don't have my arm the right way, but this one is supposed to be like cubism versus realism. So this is actually from a postcard that my sister got me from the Van Gogh Museum, I think, or like a chateau, something like that. And then this one is just from one of those hands that you can buy. So I wanted to do Cubism versus Realism just because I've always been in between these two art styles in my art personally, and so I liked having them, I don't know, so like next to each other, at each other like that. All right, the next one I believe is this guy. So I got some palm trees around him, and then this is him, and then on the side, I'm trying to get it to focus. Okay, there we go. On the side here, it says Gara Charrua. So he is a Charrua native. It's the natives that are from Uruguay, and this was a very important story to me as well. Maybe it's something that I'll cover eventually, because it's a very interesting story, and it's not necessarily like true crime, but it definitely is like a lot of bloody craziness. So anyway, there was just essentially this huge massacre, and it was like a back and forth situation. It ended up with 4 main people of the tribe, and I decided to put the chief on my arm. So that's what I did for that. Next one I'm going to talk about is this one. So this one actually confuses people quite often, but these are my passport stamps, so a page of my passport essentially. I was thinking about several different ways to do this. I went on a trip to Europe, which was so important to me. It really changed the way that I look at life in general. Like, it was just such a big trip for me, and I really wanted to do a map and then color in places that I've been, and then eventually have the map be all black. But I don't know, it just seemed like anybody could do that, and it didn't feel as personal as I wanted it to be. And so this felt extremely personal and extremely dedicated to the trip specifically that I went on. I think I actually also added a trip to Cuba that I went on, but regardless, I just love that it's super like vague and you can barely see like what it even says, but that's exactly what I wanted. And I wanted it, you know, like when you get a passport stamp, it's extremely like the ink is never right, it's never like super clear. So I love that, and my artist did such a great job on this one because it's just a lot of dots. You can see all of the little dots and everything, like nothing is really a solid line except for a couple of these spots like that. Yeah, I just was really happy with this one as well, and this spot hurt so much, like I can't even explain, but very much worth it. I'm keeping this spot open, by the way, because I want my niece to draw something and then I want to get it right here, so I've been leaving that area open. But I think, oh wait, gosh, I always forget how many I have. Okay, I thought I was done and I'm totally not. So I also have this. It's just a little mark there. This is a signature that I do on all of my art pieces, and I usually try to hide it, so that's why it's a little bit hidden on my finger. This is another situation where like there's just not enough meat on your finger, and so I had to redo this one so many times. So every time I'd go in to get a new tattoo, I would do that. So the next one is actually on my ankle. It's this guy. He's a little dog and he's very ugly, but he's from this painting. I'm gonna put the painting here, but he's from a Picasso painting, and I was going to use a cuter Picasso dog. They have a few different ones that are used, but I liked this one specifically, and Picasso was just so important to me because I know he's such a known artist. But when I was in kindergarten, I remember they had us talk about who we wanted or what we wanted to be when we grew up. Like, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be an astronaut, whatever. So I said I wanted to be Picasso, and my teacher was like, no, like you have to choose what you want to be. Then I was like, well, yeah, I want to be Picasso. And then they kept trying to like change what I wanted to do. So then I said police sketch artist, of all things. And then later down the line, I was always told like that's not gonna make you money, so I changed to engineer. And then look, I ended up being in art anyway, so that's why Picasso was so important to me, and why I decided to get the ugliest of the Picasso dogs on my ankle. The next one I did in a couple of sessions. I'm gonna put a picture here, but anyway, that's the octopus tattoo. This one actually has not very much significance. I just like octopi and I think they're cool, and I wanted to give my artist something to just kind of run with, and I was like, I just want an octopus. I want you to decide how it goes. I am cool with it being on my thigh. And now that it's there, I thought it could be cool to do like a nautical theme on my leg. Have not explored that yet, but that's an idea. Okay, I think I just have 2 left. This one was one of my most recent. It's just a tooth, It has zero significance also. I started getting into the mode of like, tattoos don't need to have meaning, but my friend and I got them together. This was the only tattoo that I got that was not from my tattoo artist. I also like the ink feels so incredibly different here than on any of the others. So I personally prefer my tattoo artist, but it was just with a coworker who was like, we used to work together for like a very brief amount of time. He left the company, I actually took his job, and then we had this joke that I was the new Chad because his name was Chad. And then, yeah, we started hanging out more, and then I got this tattoo with him. It was just like a fun, like, why not kind of thing, because we both had a bunch of tattoos. So anyway, the last one that I will be going over, and I think this is the last one entirely, is this set of flowers. And so it's the set of flowers, goes down here and then picks back up here and then goes all the way down to here. This set of flowers is also completely freehanded by my artist. It was really just to fill in all of these spaces. I kind of wanted more maybe here, and so that's something else that I will consider, is putting it here as well, just to really fill it out. And something else is that I've always asked my tattoo artist, like, it's okay to go down, but I think he's like a little nervous too, because he doesn't want anyone regretting anything. It's like when someone tells a hairstylist, you can totally chop my hair, and then they do it and then they get mad at the person. So again, this was completely freehanded. It's something that I've always been impressed by my tattoo artist, is his freehanding skills and really allowing him to do what he wants when he's stuck in the boxes. It, I think, psychs him out a little bit, versus if I'm just like, do whatever you want, I'm always way more impressed and way more excited about the tattoo as well, just because he's the artist, you know. I look at it that way too, is like, this is a form of art. I believe those are all of my tattoos. I don't know which one my favorite is, honestly. I know I said this one was one of my favorites, but I love so many of them. They're like, I feel like a walking refrigerator sometimes. It's just so much fun to have tattoos, and I honestly forget that I have them, and then sometimes I'm running to a store or whatever and someone's like, oh my god, I love your tattoos, or beautiful tattoos, and I forget. And when I first got them, I would get looks all the time, and I was like, I don't understand what, like, why? And even a few years ago, I had like platinum blonde hair, and then I would definitely get looks, but I just really love them. I think it also instantly connects me to some people who also have tattoos. Again, if you want to share any of your tattoos, funny ones, weird ones, your favorite ones, whatever it may be, I'm gonna leave the Google form in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Again, it really does help me out. I appreciate you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if I get any more tattoos, I will definitely update you guys. I haven't gotten one in a while, so I'm fiending for a new one. If you have any ideas on like a moon situation back here, or any kind of like nautical theme for my leg, let me know. I always love recommendations as well. I think that's all I got for you guys, so I will see you on Tuesday. Bye guys.